So last video we did the Art of Tasteful Jibbing, and if you haven't seen that one, make sure you take a look at it, check it out. Today we're gonna just kindle up another fire, and yeah, we're gonna talk about the Art of Tasteful Blocking. Now this might come as a surprise to you, but not all blocking is tasteful. And end video. No, just kidding. No, but I actually these days probably see maybe like 50-50, in my opinion, tasteful and untasteful blocking. What would make blocking distasteful to me? I'm going to tell you throughout this video. And I'm also going to give you my opinion around what tasteful blocking looks like, the best ways to use it, and the best questions to ask yourself for when blocking a hold, why you should block it, and how you should block it. Sound good? Let's get this. Got some of the GRU Cons, GRP fiberglass loaves, and then I actually just found these fresh stealth crimps. And if you know about blocking, you know about these. So this will be fun. I'm just gonna start setting. I don't have necessarily an intention to block. Okay, so that's maybe an important aspect to consider. When you go into setting a boulder, are you saying, well, I wanna set something with something that's blocked? Oftentimes that can lead you to be too attached to blocking. I think it's really cool to block, and I certainly know in situations that oh, this is probably gonna merit a block. But very rarely do I have that as like a major focus of an aesthetic on a boulder. And it's like one of these things like, okay, maybe I'll block this, but I'm also going to set it without it being blocked and just go for this hold. And because if it's fine, it's fine. If it needs to get blocked, it needs to get blocked. I'm very utilitarian about blocking, which you'll come to find. First, I'm gonna jib this Con GRU fiberglass with this Delta jib. So if you don't know how to do this, go watch the other video. Okay, boulder one. Kind of there. You know, I don't really have a top, but kind of got an interesting thing going here. And there's a couple potential blocks that we could utilize to our advantage. So now I haven't forerun this, which I plan on doing, but I have this as my start hold. My intention is to use this foot, kind of get over into a toe hook, which needs to come in. The issue that I made for myself is that there is some texture on the front side of this stealth, and there's also just like kind of an open-handed jug here. So it would be very easy for me to just pull on and do this, okay? When my vision is to have one of these get a toe hook, get all loaded up, and come out and flip. And this is a common issue with the flip boulder, is you can always kind of cheat it by coming in tight. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is probably get something to take away this usable surface. Okay, and so here's lesson number one in blocking. Take away usable surface. So it's not fully blocking a hold, and it's not making a target more precise. It's taking away usable surface to de-incentivize certain climbing movements, while also maintaining enough usable surface to achieve the forced move that you want to. Does that make sense? All right, questions in the comments. I'm just gonna go ahead and chalk up these holds. Do a little bit of forerunning, probably just in the tennies here. Try to just move a little bit. It's also hot as hell in this freaking warehouse right now. So if you're like later today, you're just like waking up, watching this YouTube video, and you're gonna go to the gym later, while you're there, just in the air conditioning, just think of me in this moment. So I'm just gonna, even though I have this suspicion, I think it's always good to just, you know, just give it like one try for the culture. just as is. Maybe your suspicions will come true. They probably will. But just feeling it from the outset, I think gives you a lot of data that maybe you, at least for me, didn't really consider before I started using this practice. Like even to the extent that I'll go as far as like, okay, there's gonna be a block here. I'll put the block on there, like if it's to increase the accuracy of a move, I'll put the block there, but I'll just put it like way over here. Like it's there if I need it. I think that I will, but I wanna just kind of go for this hold without any sort of extra spice to start. Okay, well that's good, but let's do this. Oh, it's like way too wide. It's especially too wide if you actually use the jug. But I wonder what it will feel like if I take away the jug. Can I still get out? Oh, it's much harder. Okay, I want to just try one more thing before I block the hold, and that is to just fully do my intended beta. It doesn't go right now, but I'm still just gonna like pretend for a second. I think that will also give me some good insight. And I am not warm. Okay, cool. I think it's a little reachy, and I think it definitely deserves a block. I think it will make the move better. So I'm gonna make a couple tweaks. And I'm gonna do it. Hunter, I am going to do it. So I've got this hold here. This is kind of egregious. But you're over here like, oh, I wonder if this one will work. Okay, so, oh, okay, this matches up. That's nice. There's like this weird jug here, which is problematic. But the main thing that I look for is just when I can finger lock a hold. So right now, the way these two holds come together, it's like an amazing mono, which I'm actually kind of into right now, but this move doesn't need tapered fiberglass mono. And so I'm always looking for, is this block actually gonna introduce like a whole new set of problems? So I take a lot of time trying to find the best blocker hold. And so you see this one, like it's still kind of spilling out. If my fingers aren't this thick, which a lot of people's aren't, you can get in there. And then all of a sudden this move out is like kind of chill and also a little dangerous. So, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna sink it. All right, let me try again. Didn't even do it that well, caught it. It's almost like a little chill. All right, now I'll try and break it. All right, so definitely morpho. So kind of like gonna need to make another tweak, which is fine. I think that what I need to do is just move this foot over. So if I try and undercling it, it's much more difficult and the foot's a lot further away. We'll try that. Went ahead and moved that start foot in, got on it, felt quite a bit harder and definitely a lot reachier to the extent that it might be okay. But I also noticed something else. When you come up in here, this toe hook starts a little harder too, which is nice. When you come in here, you can actually kind of get over here. You can just kind of move around there a lot. And I think taking that away would lead to a better climbing experience. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try and eliminate that usable surface for the climber while maintaining the toe hook. So find a blocker for that. Doesn't necessarily eliminate it. Still this ripple here. I think I can still use that. See if we got a taller one. Okay, I like this one. I'm gonna go ahead and mount this one. it is a hell of a lot harder. And I might even toot around a little bit more and try and find something bigger. I might end up moving this around to try and take it away a little bit more, but that is a good example of trying to just totally take away an option through blocking. So we've got eliminate usable surface, take the whole thing away. We've got decrease the amount of usable surface, take some of it away. And now that I have this more or less in a position where in 20 minutes or so I could probably have it fully forced, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the top part and see if I can't utilize some blocking methods up there as well. I'll tell you what, sometimes it just works out. So you come out here, bop. You get this foot, which I'm gonna mount here. And I'm gonna leave it unblocked for now. And I'm actually gonna just kind of like tilt it in my favor. I might make it a little bit more extreme as we go on. And I'm just gonna keep this asset with me here because what I wanna do, what my vision is to have this so that you kind of spill off of it. Like it's a decent foot, but you kind of spill off of it. And I don't want you to be able to have this top ridge here of the foot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna end up taking that away, boom. So now you have to get underneath here and it turns this foot into a much more extreme situation. But like I said, for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this right here, bend it in my favor, see if I can't force myself to like cut my feet or something. I also don't know where it needs to be like within this vicinity, like where's the perfect spot. So instead of like building this whole intricate blocker situation, I'm just gonna know as much as I possibly can about the move before I start poking a bunch of holes in the wall. I also don't want you to be able to like come up here and get your foot up. So I'm gonna make it a little higher so you can't access it from the start. And for me, this is perfect. So you see a lot of boulders going down in tennis shoes, a lot of forerunners like playing on things with tennis shoes. I definitely do this a lot. In fact, I try and do it as much as I can. But there are some moves that you just can't really feel right unless you have a pair of climbing shoes on. There's some moves where you have to get into an edge and pull over on it. And if you try and do that in your tennis shoes, you're probably just gonna end up trying to campus it more or less. So shoes allow us to like get over a foot. And I also like to incorporate climbing shoe necessity in my route setting. And this is one of those areas where I'm gonna try and attempt that. It's like good to want to do the moves. It's also good to be able to let it go. Nice, sick. It's pretty nice. Definitely just rip it and own that hold, which is something I love to do. So that time, I purposefully tried to keep my foot a little bit lower on this jib. I do think that it's a good idea to block the top of it. I think this is a fine spot for it to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that blocker. So you can kind of see where my rubber was. It's actually a little bit higher. It's like this nice little half circle here. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that rubber away. So doing the move before you block it is always useful. I gave myself so much intel on this move just by having my rubber there. And so I'm just gonna try and take a little bit of that away. And yeah, I'm not as strong as all the climbers in my gym. I'm definitely not as strong as all the competitors in the round. Not as good at climbing, all the things. So this is a way that I kind of get around it, is I'll make moves easier for myself and then take certain things away by using blocking. Okay, so we did this move. I took away some usable surface on this foot, but hitting that hold just didn't quite have enough, I don't know, feeling to it. Like it didn't have enough character. And one of the things that I think would make it have more character is if I just made the move bigger. You know, it'd make it more extreme. But this has an inequality element to it, because the higher you make someone jump, the less you're testing of their climbing aptitude, and the more you're testing of just how high they can jump. How far can you get up the wall? And this isn't always the best question to ask your members or a field. And so what I want to do is I want to do the third technique of blocking, which is increase the amount of precision needed to complete the move. So you make the move, lower percentage. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually hood this hold, make the accuracy of this move a lot harder. All right, so I just made this boulder a lot more intense with the use of challenging the accuracy of this move, as well as taking away usable surface from the foot. 50-50 chance I get this hold. Oh, dude, it's right there. That foot kind of sucks now. All right, we will try again. I'm like really appreciating the pace changes on this boulder. You know, it's got this like pretty active start. Get this toe hook super fast. You gotta jump hard and you gotta move your hands super fast. And then you get this foot and all of a sudden you're like, okay, find the position. And you're pretty stressed the whole time, and you find this spot and you just have to go straight up and grab this hold. So I like challenging pace a lot. Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, that turned it way up. Let's just go over these blocks again, how we got there, and why they're useful. Okay, so when we started, had this foot a little closer, but jump into this toe hook. Behind this blocker is a jug, so it was really easy for me to kind of come out of the toe hook and reach through, and it would definitely be easier if you're taller. So we had to take that away. And so the way that we did that is we took away usable surface. We didn't take away all of the usable surface. We just took away the good part. So that does a few things. It makes the hold worse. It also makes it a more difficult target. And I'm gonna give this to you. This one looks pretty good. Then I noticed that I could kind of like roll through and grab this. I need to spend a little bit more time working on this block, because obviously, but this is another good place to talk about blocking, which is I want to completely take away this usable surface. I only want this to be a toe hook. This might not be the right hold for this, but I have a feeling, just because these step-up toe hook start moves are kind of all created equal, it's always a problem reaching back to it. And so I'd have to spend a little bit more time like really trying to take this away, but that is the second rule of blocking: completely take it away. And then started sort of on the second part of the boulder. And we added this foot right here. And we did not have a blocker on it at first, but the idea was to surf over to a foot that you can't gain if you were to be able to come out. So jump out, paste, rip up to the big fiberglass con up there. And so I didn't quite know where it needed to be. I also didn't know how bad it would feel or how good it would feel. So I mounted it in a place that I thought made sense without a blocker. I then did the move, learned a little bit about how it works, and then decided, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and block it. I don't want people to be able to just, you know, hop up to the top of this and get a lot more usable surface. I also left a rubber smear when I did it without a blocker. This gave me a ton of intel into what I'm actually taking away, and is this blocker gonna do anything? And it definitely did. It made this foothold harder to target, but it also made it harder to drive off of. I felt like pretty stressed on it the whole time, which is great. And then after that, kind of felt like maybe the finish lacked a little bit of passion, something. It was missing something. So instead of making the move just like bigger, I decided that we would try and affect the accuracy of the move by forcing the climber to be more accurate going to the target hold. And so I found this Notex jug, like double in-cut jug, that just caps it perfectly, and it creates this slot. This is very common use of blocking. You make a slot to increase the necessary accuracy to gain the usable surface. So we'll just review it one more time. All right, so you can take away usable surface in order to make a hold harder to grab, or sometimes even harder to target. You can eliminate usable surface, so completely take away an aspect of a hold. And then you can affect the accuracy of a move by using blockers and by hooding holds and by using jibs and things like this to make a hold harder to hit. I hope you like these videos. If you do like the videos, let us know. If you have other things that you find distasteful and have tasteful remedies for, please let us know, and do the whole like and subscribe thing, and we'll keep coming out with tasteful videos for you.